Hey, I'm Dave Thomas III, your relationship coach here at Faked Out by Love. You know, there are three main reasons why you never waste your time trying to rebuild a failed relationship. And here they are. Because they failed, because they failed, because they failed. Now, there's a lot more to this, of course. I mean, it's easy to just say, don't try to go back to a place that didn't work for you before. And that's highly understandable. But let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Basically, it comes down to this. If the relationship failed before, and let's just say, and we're saying this assuming that both parties involved gave it their best shot and things just didn't work out, then in general terms, what that means is that you're not compatible with the other person. That in itself is no crime. The problem we have here is when two people who know that they're not only are they incompatible with each other, but they also know that they're not going to do anything at all to try to rectify that situation, or they know that there's a little chance whatsoever that they're ever going to turn around and become the type of people that they need to be in order for that relationship to work. In most cases, what we're talking about is natural occurrence. In other words, from a standpoint of the person, two people in this relationship being actually who they are, these two paradigms, these two examples of humanity just don't work well together. And again, that's not the crime. The crime is trying to force square pegs into round holes. And people do this stuff all the time. I constantly would get inquiries from people asking about, well, how do I fix this relationship? And then, I go into the nuts and bolts of it and get down to the bottom of everything, the nitty gritty, and find out that, when they start feeding me details about it, there's no way in the world that these two people should be together. They're better off, number one, especially if there's a whole lot of dysfunction involved on one side or the other and any kind of codependency situation going on, they're better off going off somewhere else, alone, outside of the context of a romantic relationship, and working on themselves, working on their mission. I've heard some dating coaches, one in particular, says staying on their purpose, something that I agree with 100%, meaning that you're doing what you can to do you. And another thing this coach said I agree with, and I've been preaching this to people for a long time, and in my book, My Little Book of Truisms, I talk about it quite a bit. And as a matter of fact, it's the reason why I wrote the book. It's all about not just self-development, but self-improvement. It's all about building yourself up into this viable individual that is not only a type of person that you can look at in the mirror at and say, I'm proud of, but the type of person that is drawing quality people to you, as opposed to what happens a lot of times in mutually incompatible relationships. You're always drawing the wrong kind of people to you. So the first thing you need to do is to work on yourself and realize that as you're working on yourself, you're going to start to see with great clarity why your relationship that failed before didn't work then, and it ain't going to work now. And you'll learn to stay away from those types of circumstances that lead you into relationships that are likely to falter and die after a short period of time, or a relatively short period of time. When it also comes to the whole idea of failed relationships, is the fact that, people rarely change. So why keep revisiting a situation where people are stuck in their ways, so to speak? And this doesn't even apply to older people necessarily. This just as easily applies to people in their 20s and people in their 30s, because by the time that you're 7 or 8, 9 years old, your personality, your character on a fundamental level is already started to form. So what this person might be dealing with you at let's say age 25, has been a part of your character, your personality since you were prepubescent, before you were a kid, 7, 8, 9 years old. Another reason why you should not go back and try to rekindle failed relationships. They failed for a reason. Sometimes the reason simply is because the other person does not really want a successful relationship. This is something a lot of people forget. Too often today, especially in terms of today, too many people are damaged out there, and they will sabotage what might ordinarily be successful, healthy relationships if the people going into them went into it with, healthy, and successfully minded mindsets, but they don't. They go into it, and especially this happens with some people, things start going really, really good in a relationship, and it's healthy. It's a paradigm that they're not accustomed to, so what do? They sabotage it. They kill it because they're too afraid to be happy, and they're too afraid to be successful. I have seen this over and over and over again in all kinds of men and women from all walks of life. Nobody is immune from that. The only way that you can become immune to that is to change your level of immunity to it by self-development and self-improvement. Making yourself a much stronger, much more viable individual that's not only, again, somebody you're proud to look at in the mirror every day, and somebody who's successful and somebody who's upwardly mobile, but also somebody who draws the right kind of people to you. So that all these other instances of failed relationships are not a part of your life timeline. Too often, when you find one failed relationship, especially if the person's much over 25 or 30 years old, if you look in their timeline, they have a whole string of failed relationships. So that lets me know right there that whatever it is that they've been doing has not been working. Yet another reason why there's no point in trying to rekindle something that's just going to take you right back down the same muddy path that you were on before and to give you the same dirty results that you had before. Stay away from this whole concept of rebuilding, rekindling, revisiting failed relationships, especially if you've been back down that road. I've seen people, and this is unbelievable. I have seen people, and I've met people and counseled people who have been going through this stuff with the same person for 20 years or more. What a waste of your time. What a waste of your energy. What a waste of life. If your relationship failed, you know what? Just chalk it up to an experience. If anything, as enough time passes, sufficient time passes, maybe you guys can be kind of friends, so to speak, in a Facebook kind of way, talk to each other on Messenger now and again, but nothing intimate because the world's full of great people out there. And in order for you to draw those people to you, you have to have a really viable, strong, and phenomenal mindset that's all about self-development, self-improvement, and becoming the best possible version of you that you can be. And the whole incidence of failed relationships will slow down tremendously if they are not eliminated altogether and you start meeting more quality people and by becoming a more quality person yourself. Well, again, my name is Dave Thomas III. I'm your relationship coach here at Faked Out by Love. Be sure to like, share, and comment on this video. I accept and look forward to listening to all comments, pro, con, whatever they may be. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel just yet, please reach on down there, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that little bell right there next to it because that's a notification bell. That's going to let you know every single time that I upload a video, which, as you guys can see, is frequently. So anyway, it's late where I'm at. Hope you guys have had a great day, and I'm looking forward to coming back and talking to you again.